Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning in through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music, we're glad you all could join us as well. We're excited to welcome singer-songwriter Jovian to our broadcast today. He's someone who's celebrating a very big 2023. He's going to talk to us about the big beginning for the year for him, but also the newest milestone for him, that being the release of his debut album, Jovian 2000 AD. We'll let you guys know how to stay connected with Jovian, all the great things going on with him, as well as, of course, how you guys can support the music as well. Jovian, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate being here.
Hey, glad to do it. It was a lot of fun prepping for your segment, Jovian, because I'm a big believer in affirmations, a big believer in if you do the work, the hard work will pay off. You did a great video, actually, on Instagram, I saw it, where you were talking about being able to perform at the Barclays Center and what that meant for you, being in front of 20,000 people, the artists that recognize you. But you said in that video something that really struck me, and you said, I knew I would be here 5 years ago. How does it feel to be able to see all that hard work you put in over the years really paying off this year?
Yeah. I think between just innately how I am as a person and how I've been blessed to be raised by my parents, there's a level of not even belief in myself. It's just knowing. I know in myself enough, and I know my trajectory. So to see that come to life in music is beautiful, especially in the creations of what I'm able to create, thankfully. But then seeing it in the physical form of like a performance at that level, which prior to that, I think my biggest audience might have been like 2K, maybe, give or take. So like 20K, that's like most humans don't experience, like don't even know how to process that. So the nervousness and the anxiety was out the roof, but then on stage, the gift of being there in front of that amount of people to showcase my work was very surreal and made me feel very speechless. And that video you're referencing, that video happened without even 5 minutes being off stage, so I didn't have any time to even process it. So that was like true from the stage straight from my brain to the camera.
But, I think that the other cool thing about this, though, is you kind of was reflecting on that moment, and then, of course, thinking about where you are now as we're kind of at the tail end of 2023. I mean, you've had this momentum, though. Even I was noticing, even on your YouTube channel, getting a chance to be able to see a bit of your personality, definitely seeing your creativity that comes out, not only in the music, but also in the visuals for it as well. You are not only living your own dream, but you're also, I think, and I noticed this in the comments on Instagram, you really are reinforcing for other people what's possible. How does that feel to know that by your doing what you're doing, you're reminding other people what they can do as well?
Oh, I mean that's like the one of the biggest reasons why I do all this to begin with. I was blessed to be, to live in New York, which is a very artistic sort of place. So any sensation I may have felt as a kid, and not being able to label it and explain some of these emotions, I was able to have an outlet for that. And I'm aware of a lot of places not being able to have that outlet. So I want to show like I'm the living proof that there is like an artistic outlet for every sensation you're feeling, no matter it's depression, anxiety, or any of these sensations. So to have people resonate with that is true, like a dream come true, because that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, what a great thing. Have you always known that music was that thing for you, Jovian, that was what you were meant to do?
Yeah. I would say I don't remember when it started. So I took the acting route, and through acting I was always writing and focusing on getting the sound right. So I went from, of course, being really terrible to copying my influences to innovating through that influence. And I didn't release any music through any of that time. So when I started releasing, it was very much closer to who I was as an artist. But yeah, this is something I've wanted all my life.
Yeah. I think that is a great thing. And now here we are with you being able to celebrate not only, of course, the release of Jovian 2000 AD, but also, of course, continue to be able to touch people with your music. So talk to us about the project. I mean, you've been able to kind of take us on this journey with you with some of the singles before the actual album release. Talk to us about what it feels like for you now, Jovian, to have this album available for the world.
A lot of these songs I wrote like right at the tail end of COVID quarantine. So, and then a few of them came after that. But it's been a process of, mixing and remixing and so many iterations of a lot of these tracks. So when I would release music that wasn't this, I would just be excited for people to hear where I went on this album. So for it to be out is like, every song on there would be a song that I show someone. If someone say, "Oh, like if you make music, let me hear what you make." Like that's how proud I am of these songs. That these would be the songs I share. So for people to have access to them and to really see like who I am as a person and as an artist, gets me really excited because this is like my truest self.
What a great thing. And I think, for our audience out there, for them to be able to experience it now for sure. I noticed, again, as I was prepping for this segment, Jovian, I mentioned your YouTube channel earlier, and one of the things you've done is you've done a bit of vlogging, kind of letting people inside the, of course, the inner workings of you in a sense, and even being able to take us along for the ride. You've been doing that a lot even on Instagram. Do you think that has been part of the connection that you've been able to make with your audience, that you have kind of taken them along this journey with you?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, nowadays, like the art is of course important, but the way it's packaged and, people relating to me as a human being and not as an artist first is really, really important. So, again, since I come from an acting background, I'm all about cinema and these grand films and sci-fi, but I've learned to really kind of take that back and know that people love the art, but they want to see me first and fall in love with me first. So that's why I decided to vlog and show some of my other interests like fashion and astronomy and Star Wars and stuff like that, and New York in general and food. So it definitely has helped.
Yeah, I'm so glad you used the word packaging, Jovian, because I think the other thing that stood out to me is that you are someone who definitely is comfortable with themselves. You're comfortable in your own skin. Not an easy thing in your industry, as you know, where people are trying to make you the next X, Y, or Z, right? How did you get to that place where you could, one, be comfortable enough in your own skin and in your own talent, and two, let people know that that's enough, just being you is enough?
That's a great question. I guess it would probably come from acting school, because in acting school, especially for college specifically, I could be kicked out of the program at any point because it was a conservatory. So I had, in 4 years, I only had 5 classes that were actually like a regular academic subject. The rest were all acting. So in those 4 years, I could be kicked out at any moment. So the only option was either be vulnerable on that stage for these scenes or for this monologue, whatever it may be, or get out. So I think because of that and because of doing that for so long, in my head, I don't have a choice but to be authentic. It's not a switch in my head, or it's not something active. It's so innate in me because that's all I know.
Yeah. Love that. And that's what's able to come out today. I want to talk about, I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, you're performing at Barclays Center. But I want to talk to you about the live performance, because you do seem to be someone who genuinely enjoys that. I mean, I've seen you, of course, being captured, in the recording and in the studio. Talk to us about what that's like for you to have that interchange of energy on stage.
Oh, man, yeah, that was incredible for me because, again, like 20,000 people is a crazy amount of people to be in front of, especially opening up for some of these bigger artists.
Right.
And especially these people aren't there for me, like I'm just warming them up. So, and I love that sort of challenge. I love to be the underdog. It felt, leading up to it, felt like death. And normally when I perform, I need one song to like kind of get the jitters out. But it felt so right up there that within my first song, like all I needed to do was be on stage and the anxiety left.
Wow.
And it felt very surreal, and it just felt like home. You know, it felt like that's where, like, connecting with all these people and just giving them a moment of happiness through my lyrics and through, you know, me being me and being a very silly mover and dancer. You know, I'm not the most I'm pretty stiff sometimes. But just like letting that go and just having fun and just being so proud of the art I'm creating and wanting to share that. Yeah, it really felt I felt like I was in the right place.
Love that. So here you've had these big milestones this year, performing in front of 20,000 people, releasing now your debut album, Jovian 2000 AD. What's next? Are you already thinking about what's that next thing for you?
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna continue to push out that album, and I have 2 more videos that I'll release for it, so people can enjoy stuff on YouTube. But I move so fast. Like, I'm like 80% done with my next album. I don't know when that would come out, but yeah, and then just singles in between then and performances and just more consistency for sure.
Yeah. Last thing I want to talk to you about, I mentioned earlier about you're showing other people what's possible. I know you probably get the question, right, about, you know, how do you do it? What advice do you have? So what do you normally tell, especially aspiring artists or those that are coming up the ranks after you, Jovian, about, you know, what it takes to get where you are?
That's a great question. I mean, I'm sure there's, like, so many different ways to answer, but the first one that came to my head was, like, of course, this is my life, and I don't know if I would be alive not being able to, you know, release my emotions and release these ideas through music. But so that is high on what's important to me and my life. But at the end of the day, it also is just art. You know, like, we're so blessed to live in a place like America, and then me in New York. You know, like, it's such a blessing to be here. So yeah, it's my life, but also it's not that precious. Like, let it go. So what I would say for people is, like, you know, your first song, your first 50 songs are probably going to be trash, you know, or any art, whether it's fashion or acting, whatever it may be, playwriting, screenwriting. The only way to get better is to just do it, you know, and I it's unfortunate that Nike kind of used just do it, and it's kind of numb to most people, especially Americans, but, like, just doing it is 90% of all you need to do, because in the just doing it, you get to figure it out. You know, I think, especially as someone like me, that I can be pretty analytical with certain things in life, but with art, you can't be, at least in the creation aspect of it. The marketing is different, but the creation aspect of it, you can't be analytical because that gets in the way. The more you're up at bat, the more likely you can hit the home runs. But the only way to be up at the bat is by just creating the thing you want to create, and eventually it'll be something that you're proud of, that you can release. So that's definitely just do it. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. Such a great reminder. I mean, the action, right? Again, like you said in that video I referenced, you know, you knew 5 years ago that you would end up where you are, but you were also doing the work along those 5 years, Jovian. So that definitely makes a difference. Again, everyone, singer-songwriter Jovian has been our guest. Great conversation with you, Jovian. The new album is Jovian 2000 AD. You guys can get it for yourself. And Jovian, how can they support the music and stay connected with you?
So on Instagram, my name is Jovian, the handle, Jovian. TikTok is Jovian 2.0. You can find me on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Music. If you type in Jovian, you'll see a picture of me in purple or bluish purple with glasses on and my curly hair. And that's where you can find all my work. And I'm very conversational with the people who support me. So, you know, if you guys enjoy a track or have questions, I just love answering DMs about this stuff. You know, I think I've been creating for myself for so long, I forgot that people can listen to it and resonate with the music the same way I do. So, like, that blows my mind so much. I enjoy speaking about the work and the behind the scenes and what this means and stuff like that. So I'm always here to talk to anybody.
Love it. Jovian, congratulations to you again. Really appreciate you stopping by and looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much. I'll be here anytime you need, man.
I appreciate it. Definitely want to thank our friend Raphael at 2 Hours Entertainment for setting up this up for us. And thanks all of you for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's go make today amazing. Take care.